Can you hear me? Am I there? Oh man. Have a sip of drink in the meantime. Sweet as. At least you know the difficulty is authentic. Yeah, that's true. Although other source ports have that, like the actual difficulty is the same. It just feels a bit different, like physics-wise. It's close, but it's not. It's a little bit different, tiny bit different. Like certain tricks in like modern source ports, like Z-Doom, with all the fancy pants, new stuff. You can't quite do as well in that than you can in like something like Chocolate Doom because the physics are a little bit different. It's alright, guys. Hey, it's not a marathon without tech difficulties.
Hello?
Hello, hello. Do you hear me?
I think you can start your run now. Just give us a countdown and you can start.
Alright, cool. Okay, so I'll count down from 5. 5,
Hello?
4, 3, 2.
I think
1,
you can start your
go.
run now. Just give us a countdown and you can start.
Let's go.
Hey, Doomsday.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but it seems you might have not put your mic on in OBS, maybe.
Oh, do you want me to do that? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Do you perhaps also have the stream open in the background?
Hey, Doomsday. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Stop that as well.
Yes, we can hear you, but it's... Yeah, sorry,
Alright.
guys.
I'm sorry, guys. Alright. I guess we'll just carry on. I'm sorry about that, guys. Hello, everyone. We're back from Silent Doom. But it's okay. We got there in the end. I'm Doomsday. I'm going to be streaming a wee bit of Doom 2 for you guys. There we go. Got that twice in a row, at least. Alright, I'm assuming I've been silent this entire time. So I'll carry on from the get-go. This is Doom 2. Which, of course, is the sequel to good old Doom. You don't need me to tell you what Doom is. One of the most iconic shooters ever made, really. And, well, this is the sequel, which is basically more of an expansion than anything else. It plays pretty much the same. May or may not. Made a wee bit of a mistake earlier there, but we'll gloss over that. We've got a second attempt now. So this game has quite a few funky physics elements to it, which come in handy for a lot of tricks. A few of the things really is when I'm running around in this game, you'll notice I'm running around strafing everywhere, or at least everywhere I can do, realistically. That's because the way Doom calculates movement, it calculates it in a sort of square arc. So essentially, if you strafe everywhere, you gain quite a bit of speed as if you were moving in a singular direction. So strafe running going to be doing you good for speed. That's called SR40, strafe run 40. I'm not sure why it's 40. It's probably something to do with the movement units. There's another kind of strafe running though, which we used in that previous level to cross the gaps at the end. That's called SR50. What that basically is regular strafe running, and also using that in conjunction with mouse movement. So you can hold the button down to sort of strafe with your mouse movement. If you combine that with regular strafe running, you can actually gain even more speed, and that comes in handy for quite a few gap crossings and tricks and whatnot. That'll be very useful later on. So we'll see how that goes. Yep, back from the Silent Doom. It's alright. It's this kind of thing that makes marathons endearing. It's that human element, you know what I mean? This level actually has probably the spiciest trick in the entire game, before I got completely murked earlier. This has a really nasty rocket jump in it. That's very handy for not only saving a lot of time, but saving you a lot of ammo as well. Normally you have to complete this level by clearing the room. But we can skip that with a well-placed rocket jump, so fingers crossed this will go well. Fingers crossed. It's a tricky one. Yes, first try. That is as good as I'd ever expected. That is 10 out of 10. I'm happy with that. That saves a solid minute from doing the level normally. And it's by far the hardest trick in the entire run, so I'm happy to get that. We have another rocket jump coming up, although it's, in theory, more reliable. But we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that rocket jump involves SR50 and a very specific rocket jump timing. So yeah, safe to say that was something I was quite spooked about. This level's fairly standard stuff, apart from this room here. Yeah, you can get blocked pretty nastily in this room. Because the way Doom collision works is quite weird. It's not really a 3D game, Doom. It's sort of fake 3D. It's like 2.5D. So enemies and weapons and switches, well, switches and enemies particularly, have infinite height. So you can get blocked either below or above them. Even if they're like a mile below, they will still block you if you try to jump over them. And in some cases that is, well, it can have some pretty nasty effects on certain areas. That one there can be pretty bad for it, but thankfully they were cooperating with us. This was all good. I got a first try a couple of times in a row the other day, Lefa. But yeah, it's not very common. It's really not. It's really not. So if you played the original Doom, you'll know that the Cyber Demon was like one of the final bosses of episode 3, I believe. Episode 2, I believe. Well, here's our second one of the run, and we're not even halfway through, so... Yeah, there's... This game sort of turns up the monster count to 11 in comparison to Ultimate Doom. It goes pretty ham later on. Here's Circle of Death. There's a jump in here that I always seem to mess up. I mean, it shouldn't be that bad. Hopefully it decides to cooperate with us. It's quite a simple gap crossing. It involves a little bit of a specific setup to do so. Ooh, nearly got blocked by an enemy below there. There's a Pain Elemental. One of the big floating enemies that looks a bit like a Cacodemon. There's Brown, one of those guys. Yeah, there's one below there. Very nearly blocked me. You notice I sort of stuttered as I was getting over that gap there. Yeah. Can be quite scary sometimes, but apart from that, this level's pretty standard. Pretty standard stuff. Time for the factory. This one's fairly standard as well, but the very last room of this can be quite scary. It's full of cacodemons and lots of raising platforms and whatnot. You have to do some parkour. Got another key bump I could get here. We'll try it. Missed it. You can actually grab that key through the wall right there. Doom Guy has very interesting properties to him. Alright, here comes the Cacodemon room. It's usually okay, but it's quite tricky to get quickly, so we'll try and do it properly. Oh, actually missed that switch. There we go. There we go. That's as smooth as I'd want it to be. Cool, cool. Having to parkour over those gaps can be a little bit dicey sometimes. You lose a lot of time having to wait for them. Here's downtown. This is one of my least liked levels in this game because there's 2 skyscraper jumps we have to make. And the first one's not too bad, which is this one right here. That's not too bad. We moved the Cacodemons with our movement earlier to lure them away that would have been blocking us there. The second one, though, not so much. We've got to get a little bit lucky because we can easily be blocked by Revenants here. Here we go. And there we go. That is also pretty damn good. It's not so easy to manipulate the enemies there to let you through. But thankfully they were feeling nice there. There you go. Slow platform. Not much I could do there apart from wait. Sneaking through there. Yeah, that was a pretty good downtown. Can't complain with that. Alright, inmost dens. This is where our second rocket jump of the level is going to be found. We have another one we've got to do. This one's not quite as bad as the one previously, but it's still a tricky one. It takes a pretty specific setup to manage, so. 2 in 2. Be a pretty good return. I'll get rid of these guys, they'll just knock me around while I'm trying to get the positioning properly. And this guy too. Get rid of those. Can't trust them really. Okay. Yes, got it. Yes. It's usually more reliable that, but nevertheless, it can bite you sometimes, considering my setup is quite awkward. It's probably a better way to do that, but hey, it works for me. We hit that switch from below because infinite height switches. You can do that. You just got to position yourself in the right spot and you can hit that switch from right below it there. Again, that rocket jump saves about a minute or so. And some pretty nasty areas as well, which can be quite tricky to navigate while trying to go through quickly. There we go. We're going to be taking the secret exit on this one. Going to be going through Wolfenstein. Because literally, that last level is so long that it's faster to go through this level. And just take the secret exit instead. Mein Leben, indeed. Going SR50 through all these gaps because you get nice long straights. Get a little bit more speed. He really didn't want to let me through, did he? Alright, time for suburbs. It's going to be a short one for one particular reason. Because Doom Guy's been slimming down. And you can get through gaps you're not intended to by just finding the right spot. Normally you need a red key to get through here, but we don't. Because Doom Guy has been... he's been cutting out the covers. You can slip through this gap when you find the right spot. There we go. It's another fairly standard, this one. It's got some tricky parts in it, but otherwise pretty much standard stuff. Okay, there is one little skip we'll be doing in this one. Actually, now I remember. There's a little ledge we can jump over using SR40 in a little while here. Ow! Damn. Not feeling very generous, are I? The Revenant was an angry Revenant. There's a trigger skip here as well, actually. Ow, leave me alone. Jesus Christ. They are not friendly today, Jesus. Alright. Death one of the run. Okay, death 2 actually from earlier. We don't talk about that one. We don't talk about it. Mainly because I was silent during it. Yeah, no, I need to submit times to speedruns.com, I know. I've yet to. I'm a casual runner, you see. I'm a very filthy casual, mate. Hopefully this time they treat us a bit better than last time. There we go. That's much better. Oh, this cheeky Revenant, man. He was taking pot shots at me like no one's business. But we skipped a little line death there that triggers a bunch of doors to open and a bunch of Cacodemons to come out. Which is handy because we have to go through that area a few times and, well, it's a lot nastier when you have more Cacodemons blocking you. We're jumping over this ledge here. Once I get the spot. Once I do anyway. There we go. Saves you going through another little cavern area and getting blocked up. It's full of Cacodemons as well, just meat shields blocking your path. Here's some 10 out of 10 level design if I ever saw it. Have some dead end corridors you have to go down to open up more dead end corridors. At least you get some decent ammo reserves from it. There's a lot of nice cell ammo at the end of each one, which is always handy. The plasma gun is your best friend through this game. Because how it can suppress enemies. Really helps out when dealing with some crowds of hit scanners, which can just ruin your day. Hit scanners in this game are probably the scariest enemies in the entire game, just because they could pelt you from across the map with ridiculous amounts of damage. It's pretty scary. Hello, Lemon. Yeah, I'm snuck in here. Playing some Doom. Kicking some ass, or having my ass kicked, one of the two. It's usually the latter. Outside of the bit at the start, though, it's been a pretty decent run thus far, actually. Nailing those rocket jumps is always a sign of a good run. Quite a confusing level that is when you first play it. It's a really expansive one. When I played it when I was a kid, it really did mess with me. Right, time for gotcha. This level has a big room where you can put a Cyber Demon and a Spider Mastermind, the two final bosses of the OG Doom, against each other. But because this is a speedrun, no fun allowed. You're not going to be able to see it, I'm afraid. Because we're just going to run around it and then miss the jump. You can also like run twice as fast along walls in this game. You notice as I was running along the lava right there that I went pretty darn fast across it. That's because of the way Doom calculates movement sometimes. You run along walls, it counts you for twice each time, so. Here we go. Time for Nirvana. Another glide here, that's what it's called, getting through this gap here. This one's got some more trickiness to it though, because you've got enemies pelting you this time. So you eventually find it. prefer using the rocket launcher here. For reference. Finding the right spot to get through here. Eventually it'll let me through. I like to think. Not getting much luck here though. Oh no, he's let himself go, Doom Guy. He's let himself go. Can't get through here no more, apparently. Oh man. Usually saves about a minute. I think we're on point to match that now. Oh man. Can we get through there before we exhaust all the health packs? Soon find out. Come on, my boy. You can get in there. You can do it. I believe in you, dude. Just suck it in. Deary me, dude. I might have to play the level standard, I think, the way this is going. Oh, man. Come on. Doesn't seem to be, does it? No. Oh well. Looks like we're playing it standard, boys. Oh, nice alt tab there. Borderless Gaming, supposed to fix that. But yeah, normally you can get through that. Saves you about a minute. It's really handy. I do have more trouble with that, it seems, than the suburbs skip, though. But it's okay. That's karma for getting the rocket jumps, I suppose. There we go. First try! Let's go! There's a bit of a design flaw in this map. To get to this exit here, you need 2 keys, you know? But because of the way it's designed, without any sort of skip, you can literally just go through one and just skip one of the keys you need entirely. It's, yeah. It's interesting. You just go through that gap, and there you are. Alright, time for the Catacombs. Here's another one that caused me problems. I don't have as many plasma cells as I'd like either. This is probably going to be quite tricky for us. But we'll make do. Normally you have use 2 BFG shots there to just waltz through, but ain't got them this time. Ammo preservation of plasma cells is super important because, you know, using the plasma gun and BFG is so pivotal for some of the, you know, some of the routes you take. You always want to make sure you got ammo when you need it at particular points. Not this time though. Revenant, where is he? Oh, I already killed him, that's why. I'm used to having the Revenant there, not dead. Not sure what took him out, to be honest. Alright, time for barrels of fun. I'm actually going to do a second save there because I'm really low. Or I might do actually. Instead, grab this. Yep, you can probably know, you can probably tell why it's called Barrels of Fun. I don't know. I think it's a subtle reference to something. Who knows? Oh wow. No way. At what point do we reach Let's Play territory? But hey, that's what happens when you speedrun Doom, man. It's a nasty one. Oh man. Third time lucky, I suppose. We'll give it a go. Oh man. That Oshvar right there. I've spotted him. Lurking around. Here's another bit that can screw me up. Oh, thankfully, he's actually been really nice. The Spider Mastermind's hitbox is actually massive. Like, it's a big sprite, but it's even bigger than that on the edges. You can easily get blocked between them. Oh, there we go. Oh, man. Time for the chasm. Now, this has got some quality level design. I mean, I know I'm riffing a little bit on some of the levels, but it does show. There's a couple of levels that are a little bit questionable. Although, when it comes to this and the original Ultimate Doom, I do really prefer this one because it's just, there's so much more going on in terms of how many enemies there are on screen. It's much more chaotic. But then there's levels like this. This room's quite scary. Just about fine. There's levels like this. They make you go across pixel-wide platforms as the intended path. And yes, it is the intended path. This is absolutely what they intended. I'm not sure either. I ain't sure either, man. There we go. We get kind of spooky, that. Alright, time for Bloodfalls. So. This is a scary room. That one there is nasty. It's full of shotgunners and a wide area. So you have to dart through and try to pick up a megasphere. Doesn't help when you get as low as I did though. Alas, that's how it is. we go. That time went a bit more smoother than that. Thankfully. Pretty standard stuff, this one, though. It just gets pretty dicey sometimes. There we go. Let me down there, mate. That's doing the job for me. Oh, dodge that archfall. Right, time for abandoned mines. The salt mines, really. You have to be quick. This area fills with cacodemons if you don't rush around, and that's already not great. I think at this point I'm just going to have to hope. As long as I have enough plasma ammo, though, it should be okay, because I can use that. I'm in a pinch. Oh wow, is this really not coming down? Wow, interesting. Alright. Oh wow. Let me in! Oh my goodness me, that was dicey. It's fine. Oi. Alright, time for Monster Condo. This is quite a short one, really. Not a lot to it apart from one very important thing near the end. The fact that I'm low, a little bit scary, but if it goes to plan, that shouldn't matter. Oh no, of course it shouldn't matter. There's a Megasphere here, isn't there? Or Soul Sphere, even. Never mind. But yeah, here we're going to get one of the enemies to open the exit door for us. Just, that's all, really. Normally you have to go through this long level, get all 3 keys, and go through a whole rigmarole, but you can literally just get this archvile to open the exit door for you. Right there. So all in all, it's a pretty easy one, that. Time for the Spirit World. Second to last level, this. It's pretty chaotic. There's a Spider Mastermind. There's another one. Plenty of them. Check that switch from below. There's some more peeps out there. It's a busy level, this. I got careful here. I didn't claim any enemies here. There we go. And there you go. The living end. This is actually the second to last level. I can't count. It was the third one. This is the second last. It's a long one, this. Hoping for some good luck here. This level doesn't treat me well, usually. Go down here. I'll grab some plasma ammo using a secret here. Stock us up for the entire level. There we go. go. Not too many special things going on throughout this. It's just a case of dodging and juking around a nuts amount of enemies sometimes. Although there's one neat little jump we're going to go for in the area coming up here. That's pretty sweet once you get it going. Get rid of these guys. They do too much damage for them to be just to be safe to be left alone. Gotta get rid of those shotgunners. You can't trust them. There we go. Now we don't hit that switch. We should be able to just jolt over here. And there we go. We can just about nip onto that ledge. And there you go. Alright, time for the Icon of Sin, the big bad. It's a painting on a wall. So we have to pump 3 rockets into this boss's brain to end the game, so fingers crossed we can get this in a 1 cycle. It's possible. Takes some timing though. Not quite. We missed the 3rd one, unfortunately, but sets us up for just one more. Time is coming up just about now. Get ready. And time. And there we go. That is Doom 2. Pretty happy with some of the tricks I got, actually. It's a busy game. A lot of fun to run. A lot of fun to run. I've been running this game for about 6 months or so. Getting there. But either way though, hopefully it was fun to watch, as it was for me to play it. And hopefully you enjoy the rest of the Themeathon, guys. Have a lovely one.
Hello.